Is it hard these days for you to imagine that you can just freely pick up, plan time off work, put a pause in all your life responsibility and have an adventure? Does that feel hard and out of reach and almost impossible at times? It takes energy, it takes cash, it takes organizing, it takes getting rid of your guilt, and a thousand other things that you have to organize in your life. Let me tell you, I call this getting outside your bubble. And what happens when you don't get outside your bubble? You get stuck in the routine, you get stuck in the meh, you get stuck in the boring and the rinse and repeat cycle, and it gets harder and harder to get out of it. My name is Trina Innes. I'm your life fun expert and host of the Finding Fun Experiment podcast, cracking your code to health and wellness. And in this episode, Getting Outside Your Bubble, I'm going to read a chapter of my book from Mind Doodles. This is what I know. And getting outside your bubble is on my mind right now because I'm famous for just pointing my finger at a map in a country I've never been and just book it. And I just want to share that with you because it is one of the most alive feelings that I can get of excitement that I will be meeting people I don't know, learning cultures, eating food, seeing how people sleep and dance and live their lives with such vibrance and learn from their cultures and bring that back to all of you. I'm planning a trip to Indonesia. I've never been there before. There's 17,000 islands. I don't even know where to start. And off the grid, off the beaten path with my backpack. And I'm just so amped up about figuring out what this country looks like and what gets them lively. And getting outside your bubble it's not traveling, it's getting outside of your norm. Let me dig in. I'm going to just do this reading chapter for you. So, throw me on in your car, throw me on as you're doing your chores or walking or hiking or whatever you're doing. So let me lull you with this get outside your bubble chapter. We all live in a bubble. Our bubble consists of our day-to-day routine of responsibility, our current living style, our past, and our environment. We may be in our bubble making ourselves better or perhaps not caring. We may be life surviving, or maybe we were striving for change. We may be balanced in our bubble, or maybe bobbing around. Our bubble has our family, relationships, acquaintances, neighbors, colleagues, all tucked inside this bubble. Our bubble could be a mix of social, health, wellness, charity, and career that are part of our life. In the bubble, we could be dealing with what's in front of us today, or it could be fighting demons from the past. We may be trying to get ready for our future. Each day may blend into the next, or maybe you hold on to each day. You may also be holding tightly to the past. As time ticks, we can only bring into our day and lives what we know from our experiences and where we have engaged. We life react based on our life knowledge, which all lives in our bubble. The way we treat people, our ethics, our personalities, our judgment is based on what we know in the bubble. If we keep our world small inside our bubble, those will be the only tools, knowledge, and tricks that we may reach out to draw upon. Where the HE double hockey sticks am I going with all this double talk, you might ask? Sorry, not double, bubble. Double bubble. Sidebar. I can totally hear you. Enough of the bubble already. It's time to encourage you to get outside your bubble. I'm talking about travel. I'm talking about getting outside your hood, having new experiences. I know not everyone is down for traveling. Not everyone is comfortable leaving their home court, their safe, comfy space. Not everyone is up for meeting new people. But if I'm able to plant the seed, then my job here is done. Yep, I'm going to go for the big guns right off the top and head right into traveling. I'm not sure what's happened to me over the last 5+ years, but I've turned into a backcountry travel hungry maniac. Okay, maybe I do know what's happened. The kids are no longer kids, even though they will always be called the kids. My husband will tell you that he thinks I've been in a midlife crisis since I was 19, always trying something new or taking unnecessary risks. As mid-40s, reality settled in 5 years ago, the clock really feels like it is ticking loudly. Since I've become an adult, I've traveled, but with proper rolling suitcases and a hotel booking in hand. I also didn't mind visiting a country twice. The last 5+ years, I've been finding countries I've never been to before. They're a little off the grid. and then traveling in their most remote areas without like a Wi-Fi connection. What? I find myself connected to my filthy backpack, hiking remote mountain ranges and really finding connections with the people of the country. I literally crave getting to know the nature and people of each of these countries. Traveling opens up your world to how big our planet is, to how many cultures live so differently than ours, to different views on politics, philanthropy, and living. This type of life thinking opens up your mind and wide. New experiences, connections to people, landscapes, customs, traditions, and daily life helps us understand this big world better. One summer, my daughter and I traveled to Spain and Portugal, and I wanted to teach her that you don't have to be rich to travel to beautiful places, but you could be resourceful. We learned from a website called workaway.info that you could travel the world by barter exchanging your services such as waitressing, graphic design, construction, and many more. We were so excited. We signed up for cleaning rooms, gardening, and cooking at a villa in Spain in exchange for accommodation. The owner of the villa and myself set up some online calls to get to know each other just to make sure she was not an axe murderer. I think she was also doing the same. Julie is lovely, and she told me she was never had such a seasoned worker stay with her, which really meant someone as old as I was. However, this aging business worked for me, as she asked if we would be interested in house sitting versus working in her villa while she went on vacation. Yeah. After driving the winding vineyard roads to a remote village in Spain, we arrived at her stunning villa at the top of the hill. The villa was in a gorgeous vineyard with rolling hills, beautiful horses, friendly dog, a cat, and an inviting pool. We learned how to live in a small Spanish village, eat their food, and enjoy the locals socially in the town square every night. We watched the family generations connect each day, working together in their butcher shop or playing cards on their front steps. And we learned how to take care of a huge Spanish villa. We truly immersed ourselves in their culture, a life changing experience for both of us. And one summer, my son and I traveled to Japan. I wanted to teach him the rewards of backpacking from destination to destination on an ancient spiritual pilgrimage trail called the Kumano Kodo. For over a week, we stayed in people's homes as we hiked this mountain range from village to village, sleeping and eating with families. Upon arriving in each remote village or passing by a rice field, the farmers always stopped to wave and welcome us. We slept in rooms with thin screens with little to no privacy, on floors with thin mats and hard rice, little tiny pillows. We ate the food that 2 or 3 proud aunties cooked for us each night, serving unique and exquisite dish after dish after dish. We learned how to communicate without English. We took brave chances on what we were eating with the aunties standing over us, hoping we'd love what they cooked for us. The aunties invited their neighbors to meet us and look at us, as in this remote region of Japan, they didn't see too many North Americans. We experienced sentos and onsens, which are public baths or hot springs separated into male and female areas where you would bathe nude with the other participants and other guests. We spent time with a monk without speaking and tried to understand their spirituality through meditation, another wonderful immersion into the Japanese culture and living. The travel journeys and stories like this are so many and truly life changing. These experiences build our characters for our life decisions and strength. I've learned so much with each country I explore that being financially poor isn't always a sad thing when you have your family close and food you know to gather from the water and the land. I've learned I can educate people across the world about how I live, and to their great interest and awe, and have no idea where my country is on a world map, never even heard of it, or what a hockey stick is. I learned that we could reduce prejudice just by meeting people eye to eye without understanding a word of each other's language. I have learned that your cup of coffee each morning has 28 processes to go through before it reaches your mouth. And it starts with people climbing up muddy, scary jungle hills to get to the coffee bean plants. I learned that simple acts of giving 2 days of my salary back to a village can put doors on homes that look like shacks to protect families from being flooded out. I learned that I can bring my simple joy to people by visiting the homeland they're proud of as they learn how far I've come to see their country. I learned how we can make each other feel so important in this huge, gigantic world. I learned that traveling with my kids in remote parts of the world, seeing life outside their life bubble, is one of the greatest parenting rewards that I've experienced. I learned about seeing landscapes that look surreal and impossibly beautiful, that I can work extra, extra hard to fund this outside the bubble experience and figure out innovative ways to travel, bartering my skills in exchange for accommodation. I learned that I want to keep learning more outside my bubble, that it feels almost like an addiction, but a good one. I encourage you to get outside your bubble. The world, honestly, is waiting. I'm hugging my book right now if you're just listening to me, waiting to meet you. I know this for a fact, and I just feel these cultures going into the countries, and they're just so happy to meet you. And even if you don't exchange a word of English, with gestures and your energy and your smiles and your connection and admiration of each other and curiosity of each other is just such a connection that I encourage you to do and consider and to get outside your bubble. And like I said, there's so many innovative ways to travel and get outside your bubble. You could do home exchanges. I know of a friend, she does a pet exchange. She loves going into neighborhoods in different countries and different part of the world and look after pets. You can barter your skill at that workaway. You know, if you've got design talent or you've got fundraising skills or you can, sling some drinks behind a bar, you can barter your services and travel the world like that. There's so many different creative ways that you can get outside your bubble and meet the world because it is so big. We're just such a tiny speck of dust. And in a time, in a world too that's just so unpredictable and incomparable. Can't understand. I just can't understand. I don't have the comprehension to even understand and grapple the evil that does take over part of the world. The good part of the world will give you hope. It gives you spirit. It gives you pizzazz. It gives you energy. As to the liveliness inside of you that you can carry. When I travel before I travel, I get pretty amped up. Obviously, during, that's another story, another level of amping. And when I get back inside my bubble, it's changed my bubble. I carry it with me. It never leaves me. It's just part of adding to the liveliness of living. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for wanting to have more spice and spirit and pizzazz in your life because you deserve it. You deserve to look forward to getting outside your bubble. Thank you for listening. And if you have a friend or family member who would benefit from listening to getting a little spirited and outside their bubble, it could benefit them, please share this with them and tell them to join the fun movement because it's a lot of fun. And I would love for you to also sign up for my emails because that gives you another way to learn tools and tips and tricks about how to live life to your fullest, liveliest, and add more fun, laughter, and play into your life. So you can sign up at www.minddoodles.ca and you'll get a few extra tips and tricks to your email box. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Fun in your inbox. You can't beat that. So outside your bubble, fun in your inbox, all the stuff. And thank you for listening and have fun.